Hello and welcome to PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It is Wednesday, Fed Day, June 14th, 2023, and I haven't seen anything written about it, but the Fed left interest rates unchanged and signaled that they're potentially going to raise them two more times in 2023. So I also have a power outage going on right now, so our backup generators are on and you might hear some noises, so apologize for that. I am going to make this brief. And our internet's a little clunky with it as well. So, the markets were highly volatile when the 2 o'clock rolled around, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's going to give me fits getting back to the E-mini futures. Should just stay on the indexes. Come on, there we go. So I'm going to show this, I think, in a way that makes sense. Man, that is clunky. All right. Let's see if the bullish percent indexes are any better. So, uh, let's just see really what they did today. Hopefully, these are just normal. Yeah. Minus 5.26%. So, that's notable. That's on the Dow Jones. The NYA actually added an X and went up by 1.41%. So, that's interesting. The transports way up, all the way into resistance. These red lines are resistance on the point and figure charts. The NASDAQ up by 0.96%. The SPX added an X today and went up by 2.69%. The OEX, the S&P 100, added an X today, so pretty bullish actually. The NDX up 1.47. So it's interesting too that like the Dow is the one that probably has the most still. I mean, the Dow and the Russell have the most like legs that they could still move, and um, that's the one that actually has the I mean the 5.69% lower for the amount of stocks that are in a point and figure buy signal. So, all right, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to give it a shot and say time frame. We'll use a 15-minute. All right, so much for that. I'm going to flip to an S&P, just a regular old S&P chart. See if that does it. Boy, that's nasty looking. That's only because I've got overnight action turned on and I've got this block right here. I'm going to just delete it. So you can see here that this was the morning session all the way up to a high of 43.91.82, and then it literally, that's 12:45 p.m., 1 p.m., 1:30. That's 1:45 still hanging up there, and then 2 o'clock, whoosh. So, and then you can see it pull right back up into this average line, and I'm going to call that the mean for now because that's what it really looks like on this chart. It looks like the mean of price, and now that's where we're hovering into the close. Now the S&P over here on the left hand side has the futures at up 1.5 points or 0.03% overnight, so that's nothing to write home about. But just wanted to show you that I mean that was major volatility down and then back up again. On the daily chart, It's a doji in the up position. Potentially, I forget what they call that candlestick, just because it's been so long since I really cared about even what candlestick names are. Shooting star, potentially, or spinning top, something like that. So, if you care about candlesticks, which, all I need to do is understand that the price went way down, back up again, closed closer to the top of the range than the bottom of the range, but still in an undecided fashion. And our indicators are still pretty bullish, even though they look like they're ready to roll over any second. The NASDAQ, I think, was the story today. No, it wasn't. It was the Dow. The Dow went down by 232 points. I showed you this line that it's been tracking up, and you can see it just, fell below it. I wouldn't say that's anything to get too excited about. I think this is why I'm talking about the Dow actually could have a chance here to pull back into this zone where all the price has been, hover around for a little while, maybe go a little lower, and then pull back up again into a new. Because we've obviously broken the downtrend here, and now we're into a new uptrend. It's just a matter of how much legs this thing can get. The NASDAQ powered higher today, even though it's really got to be running out of gas up here in these levels. The candles are getting tighter and smaller, and typically, that the range is narrowing. So eventually, when the range expands and the candles get bigger and wider, that means volatility is kicking in. And the Russell. What did the Russell do? Let's look at the IWM just because we get the whole story. And so the IWM is hovering around. We're past the 50% line on this whole move down and back up again, and we've actually got up past the 618 and held. And so unless we break the 50% to the downside on a closing basis, I'm still saying this thing's in an uptrend. And we went up by, we went down today by 1%, 1.07. So let's keep moving. Oil today, USO contract went down by 0.5%, which is hardly anything. I'm sure it's hovering around in no man's land right now. More bearish than bullish. And that's enough of all that. Here, let's look at bonds one more time, or before we leave. So bonds are coiling up here. They look like they're potentially moving higher to me. But this thing could roll over and die as well from here. And we could actually touch these old lows and beyond. So, but right now my bet's still on higher, and we shall see. It's in a squeeze, so it could continue to coil, and then whichever way it breaks out, it should have a pretty decent move. Now, flipping back, so we did the bullish percent indexes, and I'm going to leave you with this. This is the had some interesting things because we've changed contracts in the cycle for the automatic trading systems. And something we did today, I actually had to call Tradestation for tech support, and I haven't done that in a long time. But our trading systems were acting like they went dormant, and I've had that happen one other time, and I ended up changing my Dow contract to trade a minute minute cycle instead of 1,000 ticks, which is what this. Whoops, not that one. This one down here. The NQ is 1,000 ticks, and really these things can be built for, I think, any of these time frames, but I like the 1,000 ticks. It works for me, and it happens to, in my opinion, have volume built into it because a tick is a trade, and so 1,000 trades, you can see which direction the volume is flowing. And anyways, you don't have as much of that with a time chart. So when I lost they had the same kind of thing happen, and that went dormant before I switched the YM over to a 1 minute chart, and that means every bar that's created is a minute instead of 1,000 ticks. And anyways, like I say, I still built this trading system, which is ultimately up. It has given us a lot of pain here lately, but literally today's trading is this. Been coming back up again, which is nice. But then you can see here, this is the Russell, and it's still not generating any trades. So I'm going to sit on my hands on this one, but I did switch these over. What tech support told me to do was put the @ sign in front of the actual contract, and it might give us more back data, and that's because it's mixing the continuous contract that you can't trade, the data from it, with the actual contract to give you more back data, and it worked on the NASDAQ, which, by the way, this is 6 months worth of data, and we just started trading this recent contract. So from now on, I'm not going to be looking at just the contract. We're going to be looking at 6 months worth of data all the time. So I might be able to open it up to where we're looking at 6 months worth of data and 12 months worth of data for every review I do, which, that's good. But we actually had some really nice moves today. I did miss this move, which I talked about last night. I called it a phantom move. I'm still not sure it wasn't, because I'm not sure how this back data is going to work with our front data, and we shall see. It's a little bit still, I'm always learning something about these systems and how they work, and this is a nuance. And if that was a real trade, we won't miss it in the future. If it was a phantom trade, they happen. Phantom trades do happen. So, in fact, if you Google stuff out on the internet, I did today, phantom trades happen. So anyways, I wanted to show you here, that's what this looks like. We just put the @ sign in front of the NQU23. The U is a September contract. You can Google that stuff on the CBOE or anywhere on the internet if you talk about futures and contract, how they denote the months. And so that's what I got. It was a nice trading day today. A little volatile. Well, a lot volatile for the 2 o'clock thing. But we are navigating this series of trading better than we ever have, and that is really good news at Precise Algorithm Trading, because I can share that stuff with you guys and we can all be successful. So with that, take care, guys. Have a great night, and wish me luck on getting the power back on. We'll see you.